Alright, so let's start this project off. Here we have one of the Shaltari Eden gates. It's their medium-sized gate. Fresh out of the box, I cleaned up the mold lines, cleaned up some of the excess resin, shaved off some of its excess pieces, and I'm just going to show you a quick little zoom in here just to get a sense of appreciation for how detailed these models are. Look how big this thing is compared to my thumb. That's not a big model, and you get all, I don't know if you can see the running lights along the top of it, and that crystal there in the middle, the bottom, just as detailed. Ridiculous. The little foils here for the wings, you can see all the little nooks and crannies. Very detailed models. Hawk War Games has an incredible product here for the price and everything. So to start these guys off, I see if I can find it. Yep, we're going to do a base coat of Dropzone, and I'll be back once the model is primed. So, okay, I wanted to show this before I got going on this project here. Something that, for you Shaltari players, that will save you a lot of headache. Be very careful, if you're brand new to this game, when you're trimming your mold lines. Okay, let's see if it'll focus. When you're trimming your mold lines, this piece right here is what you want to cut, not this. If you cut this, I'll show you. This is the gate, right? That's the gate. This little notch on there is what will slide. That's what slides right into. Sorry, I'm doing this with two hands here. That slides right into. Wrong way. There we go. That slides right into the hole right there, and it makes it for easy gluing and positioning. So if you inadvertently cut that off, you're going to be in for a world of problems. One thing I do want to touch on before I assemble and prime these models is I want to talk about the base. They have a very, very ingenious idea for their bases. And this little widget right here goes right in there to that hole and glue it in that hole. There you go. And then once that's set, you can attach it right to the top of the base, and it allows you to easily remove your model from the flight stand, so you don't have to worry about your flight stand snapping off in transport. You can just lay your flight stand down. I don't have this in there, so you can just take it apart like that, and you'll never have to worry about your flight stands breaking. So that's a really, really ingenious idea that they came up with, and just wanted to share that with you. So alright, let's assemble this thing and get it primed. Alright, here we have the assembled Eden gate. I decided not to put the little flight stand nug on there just yet. I don't want to run the risk of getting paint on it like I did on my gunships. But yeah, that's what it looks like. All assembled, ready to go. Such a cool looking model, man. I love this thing. Just FYI, what I'm working with from Hobbytown USA, the MaxiCure extra thick. I've used that my entire life, and it was just pointed out to me that it's pretty much just nail glue. So I've been overcharged my entire life, and this accelerator over here is fantastic. I managed to get this thing together in about a minute and a half. So accelerator stuff really does a great job. So alright, now it's time to move on up for painting. Alright, so I'm trying a new camera angle technique here. I have my camera hooked up, or actually clamped in my my light clamp to see if it'll hold it. So alright, we're going to get started here on the base coat. I'm just going to do a quick little shot just to show you that I can paint. So we're going to just do some of this this gray Dropzone, and you just kind of take a brush you don't really particularly care about, and this paint is actually not, it's actually pretty thick, so I have to water this down, but you just kind of just start throwing the paint on, really wherever you feel like. In this case, since it's, you know, the first coat, it's going to be the entire model, and yeah, you're just going to go over the whole thing with gray, and that's going to be my base coat for these guys. And no particular rhyme or reason why I'm switching all over the model, going up, going down. Sorry, I was off camera there. I didn't notice that. This is actually a lot harder than you think, painting and filming at the same time. I've drove and filmed at the same time. I've carried on conversations and filmed at the same time. I've fought for my life in a mosh pit and filmed at the same time. Never painted and filmed at the same time. So this is a new skill that I'm developing. But alright, I will be back when the model is finished. Yeah, finished with the gray. Alright, the base coat is now done. I chose Dawnstone because I wanted a dark base coat because I'm going for a dark purple finish. And I didn't want to use black because there's going to be lighter tones and stuff to this, so gray, of course, made the perfect neutral tone. So that's what we got here. The whole model is now gray, and it looks like it's been casted in plastic now. But yeah, that's her. The hull of the ship we're going to do in Genestealer Purple. I don't know if I said it yet or not, but I'm theming my Shaltari off of the Covenant from Halo. Everything's going to be purple, the infantry is going to be blue, and there's going to be a few red ones mixed in there, maybe a random gold one or something like that to symbolize the elites. So all the dropships and stuff are going to look like Covenant dropships, tanks are going to look like Covenant tanks, and it's going to be pretty cool. So the basic hull of the ship, meaning this oval ring, that's all going to be Genestealer Purple. And yeah, and these little tips here too are going to be Genestealer Purple as well. I might decide to change that through the painting process, but let's go ahead and get started here. So I don't have as detailed of a brush as I would like. So what I'm going to do, I'm just taking this, the hell size is this? I don't even know. Whatever. But if you can read that, whatever size that is, 10, 0, I don't know, I don't understand. I'm not an artist, I'm just a nerd. I'm taking that, putting it in some water, and I'm just giving it a nice tapered tip there. And we'll take our Genestealer Purple, go into that, and start working the purple in. And really, well, that's way too watered down. Way too watered down. Wow. Really, if I wanted, actually, that's probably the better choice. I'm not going to go with a detailed brush for this because that's kind of stupid, because this is just going to be the second coat. So we'll go back to a brush that we're not too concerned with and get back into the Genestealer Purple and start working that over top the gray. Get down into all the little nooks and crannies, and it might look like it's showing up pink on the camera. That's because it pretty much is, just how it's going over top of the gray there. But I assure you, over top of this, we're going to use, the hell is this shit called? This one. Druchai? Whatever. We're going to use that wash over top of this, and it's going to give it a nice darkish purple with some light undertones to it. You'll see what I'm talking about when everything gets dry here. So yeah, these ships are pretty cool. The foils I'm going to leave gray. We'll tackle them in another step, the wing foils. Those are going to get painted green and then we're going to do a watered down blue over top of that, and then follow it up with the Druchai, whatever. We're going to do a Druchai violet wash over top of the blue over top of the green. And if I can pull it off correctly, you'll be able to pick up all three colors in the wing foils, and it will give the representation that the foils are like solar panels or something like that. As far as these, I'm gonna wait and paint this front when I can fully concentrate on it. The front, I gotta make sure I get down in between the cracks, and I'm gonna go over top of that with a green. So the canopy is gonna be or the sensor nodes rather. It's not a canopy. The sensor nodes are gonna be a greenish, Dark Angels green, Snot green kind of mix, and then we'll just highlight it from there. Yep, so it's getting closer here so you can see. That's what it's starting to look like, going over top of the gray. And I'll be back with the finished version of the second coat. Alright, so here we have the second coat for the hull of the ship finished. It's got that light purple color to it. So now we're going to work on the second coat for the wings. And for that, I'm going to need my handy dandy color mixing pad here. So what you're going to want to do, for all you out there who don't know this, I'm doing a 50-50 mix of Dark Angels green and Snot green. So I'm just going to get some Dark Angels green on there. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, but you can always remix as you go along. Dark Angels green. And then I'm going to add to that the Snot green. And just kind of mix it up. And you see the color change right before your eyes there. That is exactly what I'm looking for, and the water that's on the brush is helping mix this together. Alright, just kind of rinse, or not really rinse, but just I just wipe the brush off on the edge there, and I have just enough on the brush to start the wings, so I just kind of don't really care, just go over the whole, that's perfect, go over the whole surface like that. If I bump up against the purple, I can just go back over it with the Gene Stealer purple, no big deal. Like I said, over top of this, what we're gonna do is throw down a watered down Macridge blue, I think it's called. I don't really feel like looking over there right now, but that's what we're gonna put over top of this. And if I have it watered down just enough, it will seep down into the recesses. The paint will coat, lightly coat over top of the green, and give the green a bluish hue kind of tint thing, whatever the right term for it is. Give it a bluish tint, and then over top of that, when we get on to the third coat, the wash, there'll be the Druchai violet over top of that. And it should look like a pretty good multicolored wing. So I will keep applying this green to the wings, and we'll be back, or I'll be back. I have my own network or something now. I'll be back. It's so hard to talk and paint at the same time. You really, it's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. You really gotta multitask. But yeah, so either way, I'll be back in the third step to show you how I do that. Alright, so the green is dried, and that's about it for the first coat. Looks a little ridiculous right now. the purple and the green on there, but you have a sense as to what I'm gonna go for here with this. So that's her all finished there. You can hear my son running around there in the background. He just woke up from his nap, so he's full of energy. So I have a dilemma. Usually I go for Macridge Blue, and I had 3 gates at one point, and they all got destroyed. Don't ask. But so I had, I went with Macridge Blue with a little bit of Skull White, watered down, threw that over the top of the green. I just realized that I have some Sotek Green, which is to a comparison that might be more suited for what I'm trying to use it for. So I'm gonna water. I'm gonna do what I usually do first, and we'll just compare colors to see what looks best. So we'll take a little bit of the Macridge Blue. I'm not gonna mix a whole lot because this is just a trial. Sorry, it's White Scar now. It's not. Forgot it's not called Skull White anymore. I don't think I've opened this one yet. Yep. All right, and there's some little bit of white. Water that down. A little bit more white. There we go. Almost like a sky blue there. I don't know if you can see that. So that looks okay. That's what I'm used to. And of course that goes over top the green there. Now the Sotek, ooh, this looks nice. Sotek Green. I think I'm gonna go with this. I love how that looks. And you know, I might even just, well, I don't know. Tried and true, I was to say, I might just phase out the green altogether and just go with Sotek Green. But, let's see here. I do not know. Well, like I said, since I did Macridge Blue on my previous gates, and they're on most of my vehicles, I don't know. You know, the Jurechi Violet, that is going to darken up the wings. So I think I'll go for the Sotek Green. I'll try it. Fuck it. If not, I can just paint over it. So, alright, I'm going to take some water on the brush, water this down substantially so that it's extremely runny. And if I fuck this up, then I fuck this up. Get that water down again. Alright. Alright, buddy, you watching me? Oh, thank you. Yep, you just gave me a dime. Alright, so that's gonna go. Get most of it off my brush. You see how runny that is? Alright, that's just gonna go right over top the green. It's gonna seep down in. And I think, oh, there's a hair on my brush. God, I hate it when that happens. Does that ever happen to you guys? You're painting and all of a sudden you notice that you picked up a hair and now you've just painted a hair onto your model. But there's air bubbles and stuff on here. Don't worry about those. Oh, that's way too much. Way too much. Okay. Spread it out. Spread it out. Alright, that's looking pretty cool. That is looking pretty cool. I like that. Alright, so Sotek Green was a wise choice. I'm just skimming some of this excess paint off the edges because I don't really need a whole lot. I just need it. It's using this as a wash pretty much. Just watered down Sotek Green with some Skull White. I don't care what it's called now. It's always going to be Skull White to me. I like that. So you can see right here the comparison between the first coat and the second coat there. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, I will finish up the model and we will be back when I'm done with that. Alright, I just put the Sotek Green skull white mixture on there. Let it dry here for a few minutes, and I don't know if I'm satisfied with it. It still looks a little bit too green for my taste. I don't know, it looks, let's see how it looks on the camera. Actually, it looks a little bit better on the camera than it does in real life. In real life, it looks more green than it does on there, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but either way, it's on there now, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Like, you know, it's okay. Not as blue. Well, let's go with it. As I said, over top of this, we're going to do the Dropzone Violet, and I say it different every single time I say that name. So, how this is going to work is I'm going to apply this wash to the entire model, wings and all, and after this we will go back and start doing highlighting, detailing, and all the fun stuff. We'll do the canopy there on the front. So essentially, like how you do washes, you put a good bit on your brush there, and just go. And a fire truck just went by my house, and I just realized that I didn't clean up some of the Gene Stealer purple before I did this. So, but that's what that's gonna start to look like there. Yeah, that's one thing I forgot to do. After the first coat was applied, I was gonna go back and clean up all the little areas where the green and the blue got on the purple. Just kind of fix those up. Slight little oversight, but no biggie. It's mainly just the whole of the body here, where these little things come out over top of the wings. I don't know what they're called, but yep. So I'm just patching those up real quick, and then we'll go back to work. Yeah, we'll go back to work in a second here, bud. Wow, there's a big splotch right there. And I'm not using a magnifying glass or anything while I'm painting these models. I don't have any kind of specialty equipment. I'm pretty flat broke. I just paint this all with the naked eye. And you know, my vision isn't perfect. I wear contact lenses, and this is something that takes a little bit of skill. You know, painting 10mm is not easy. These models are tiny, and to actually get in here, you'll start to see it in the detail phase. To actually get in here and paint some of these nooks and crannies and all the little running lights and everything I'm going to be doing later on requires a good bit of patience and focus. You need a steady hand. Make sure you're not hungry before you start this, because you'll be shaking all over the place. Trust me. I keep a can of Pringles ready at all times for this kind of work. So, okay, I think that's about it. Alright, switch brushes. And my phone battery's dying. That's not good. So we'll hurry this up here. My charger won't reach to where I have my phone sitting. So, alright, we got one wing going there. Go over this wing. And start going over the body. And I don't know if you can see how it just immediately starts to darken up the hull of the ship. Gets down in there to all those little nooks and crannies, and really starts to kind of bring this thing to life. Now it's starting to look a little more, less pink and more purple, as you can see. Get some more on that wing. Alright, well, to save battery power, I will finish up the rest of this off camera. And through the magic of post-production, you'll see a finished wash on this thing in a matter of seconds. Alright, well, like I just said, a couple seconds later, model's done, when in all actuality it's been almost 24 hours. So that's what she looks like now with the Druchai Violet dried up on there. Look at the wings. They look almost exactly how I wanted them to look. Almost insectoid. And the bottom of her looking pretty good. I'm very pleased with the shade of purple that turned out on this. Very nice, very nice. But now it's time to start looking at it and determine what we're going to do as far as excuse me, as far as highlight work, detail work. Let's see how close I can get this. Alright, if you look along the top of it, the model, all these little tiny little dots up here, each and every single one of them needs to be painted. This crystal assembly in the middle needs to be painted. I'm going to go with seems to be the popular color scheme that most Shaltari players do, where the color scheme for these sensor nodes matches that. I think I'm going to go with that as well. That's going to be a lightish green color. Then we're going to start to pick out details on the ship itself with the Gene Stealer purple again. Just going like these little prongs coming off the side are going to be a lighter purple. We're going to bring some of the lightness back out of them. The tips of the wings, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with that. My past 3 gates that I did Gene Stealer purple on them as well. Something is telling me this time to go with Lich purple. I'm not too sure. I might have to do some color blending, but we'll figure this out here as we go along. And then all these little, oh, lost focus. All these little lights, most of these little lights on here, along the bottom, in the back. Yeah, got a lot of dots to paint. So the colors I'm going to use for that, I've narrowed it down to, of course, White Scar. We're going to be mixing that with a lot of things probably. Gene Stealer purple, Lich purple, Sotek green, Goblin green, Snot green, Dark Angels green, Mephiston red. I think that'll about do it for as far as all the colors I'm going to do for the highlights. So I'm going to get to work on the wing foils first. And for that, let's make a decision here. Let's go with the Lich purple. I'll go with a little bit watered down Lich purple with some Gene Stealer purple. And we'll be back in a minute once I have that mixed up and applied. Alright, so here we have our, I don't even know what the percentage was, probably about 60-40 Lich purple, Gene Stealer purple. Just enough Gene Stealer purple to lighten it up a little bit. His Lich purple is almost like a very, very, very dark, almost like that. So we're going to take that and bring the ship back up here, make sure I actually have it in focus, and we're going to start doing the wingtips. And this is the part, how I was mentioning earlier, where you definitely want to make sure you're on a full stomach, because I'm trying not to fuck up as I'm talking here. And this might seem a little sloppy around the back, but I'm not super concerned with it. And this is pretty much a see, got some of the foil there already. And this is pretty much a work in progress color scheme as we go along anyways. I'm not sure how this is going to come out. I'm not sure if it's going to be bright enough for my taste or what, but we'll see as we go along here. Alright, so that's looking pretty cool. Alright, we've done the wingtips in the purple. And the purple mixture of Lich purple and Gene Stealer purple. That's what those look like. That on there. It really starts to tie it together. Now you get a sense as to exactly what I was talking about. With the wings looking almost insectoid. You can see the blues, you can see the greens, and then that Druchai Violet topping it off. This foil up here has some defects in it. You can see compared to that one and this one, whether it might have been too much water on there, too much paint, I don't know, but you can see the difference. But I'm not too worried about it. So overall, overall the drop ship looks good. Yeah, very pleased with it so far. There's the bottom. Alright, so now it's time for all the details. We're going to do all the little running lights and everything like that. And for those, we're going to need Mephiston Red. Like I said, I'm going to use some Sotek Green and some Goblin Green. And I guess to lighten colors up if I need to, I'll be lightening them with White Scar. I could sit here and tell you what I'm going to paint what color, but honestly that would take a very long time. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about here in about 3 seconds. So let's do a crossfade. So there we are. Looks like a fucking gay Christmas tree. Purple and green and red, but you know, it looks pretty fucking cool. And they're really starting to come together. Is looking like a very covenant-ish, I guess. Covenanty. I don't know how to say it. It's really starting to come together. Look like a very covenant-themed vessel now. So the last thing we're going to do on this is the crystal and the sensor nodes. And for that, we're going to be using a mix of the Dark Angels green, the Snot green, and some Goblin green. And let me throw together a mixture. We'll start with a base of Dark Angels. Start with a base of the Dark Angels green. Get in here, get some of that. That's probably more than I need, but whatever. And mix in a little bit of Snot green. A little bit more. A little bit more. Alright. Okay, that's going to be our first layer of green going down. Just get a little bit on the brush there. And ever so lightly. Go over the sensor node. And I'll worry about the finer edges when I get off camera here. And that goes over the crystal. Such fine little crevices you gotta get into. And I already need to do some touch-up work. But if you can kind of see just how close I'm getting in there. But alright, I'll come back in a minute in the interest of time when this is finished. So okay, we've got our sensor nodes painted, we got our crystal in there painted. So now it's time to highlight it. And for that we're going to take our Goblin Green, our bright Goblin Green. I'm just going to drop that right in the pot with the old color because we're going to be darkening the Goblin Green anyways. And let me just see if I can absorb. Yep, there we go. Absorbing some of that darker green that was left over. And that looks like it's about perfect. Okay. Our brush is still nice and moist. So I'm going to take take some of that and just ever so slightly just go back over, picking out the edges, not getting too close to the shadows. Brush might be a little bit too moist, but that's fine. Getting all of the green, we're not covering all the original color. We're just lightly going over top. You can see what kind of a difference that makes on the crystal. And then same thing with the sensor nodes. Just lightly going over that dark angel green. It's going to require some touch-up work. Almost forgot about the bottom. All right. Does that makes that crystal really, yeah, really makes it stand out there. All right, and we'll be back. And from there, I'm just going lighter by lighter by lighter. I'm going to do a little bit of touch-up work on the front of this bitch, and then do probably another layer of highlighting, and then I think that should wrap it up. Alright guys, that should just about do it. And there we have a finished Shaltari Eden gate in my Covenant color scheme. And there's only one step left to do. Of course, camera doesn't want to focus, but there's only one more step left to do, and that is mount it to the base, which I'll do here very quickly. Stick goes in hole. As of course I say that, I fail miserably. Stick goes in hole. There we go. And demonstrate the magic of this Insta-set, or whatever it's called. Glue goes on peg. Peg goes in hole. Spray some of that Insta-set. First two sprays completely missed, so and let's sit. It's now secure, well, more or less. All right, secure. And now, moment of truth. Bam. Look at that. There we have ourselves a finished Shaltari Eden gate. You can transport 3 standard size vehicles. It has a mass value of 3, meaning that it can move anything with a mass equivalent of 3, which if you understand the game, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, of course, it's the focus. But there we are. So, I think I'll finish this up with a few pictures of this thing better showcasing what it looks like. I want to thank you guys for watching and putting up with this extremely long video. Please, if you like my work, you like my my videos that I put out here, share, like, comment with a friend, do all that fun stuff, and check out the Facebook, see what I have for sale, or if you have any projects or anything you'd wish for me to commission for you or whatever, just give me a ring on the email, which is listed in the descriptions below. And then once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.